section.
9-6-7-5 the score. That, of course, good for the lead at the moment, Marian Dragulescu of Romania, the reigning world floor champion. What can he produce?
The double straight somersault with full twist, immediately rebounding into the 1 1/4 front somersault. Legs of steel. Oh, landed that one too short to carry on. That'll cost him 5/10. This pommel horse sequence now compulsory for most of the leading men.
Just worth letting those of you who aren't regular gymnastics followers know that the men compete in 6 different disciplines. The floor, of course, there's also the vault, the pommel horse, the rings, the parallel bars, and the horizontal bar. Just 4 for the women. But this morning for you, we have the men's team competition, so 6 rotations, as they're called, to come. Dragulescu will be disappointed with that.
Yeah, the big dismount, double twisting, double somersault, but that mistake will cost him dear.
Vincent, we mentioned the Americans, there's the Romanians, of course. Where's the balance of power currently in gymnastics? The Chinese are coming on apace, to say the least, aren't they?
Well, the Chinese came from the qualifying team only in 3rd position. The Russians, who dominated for so many years, dropping down in the qualifying competition, coming in 6th place. So we'll have to see whether they can catch up. The Chinese have some phenomenal talent, so I'm sure they'll be pulling out all the stops.
Dragulescu awaits his marks. It's always a tense time. He knows it's almost certainly not going to start with a 9. And Vincent, take us through how it's all being judged.
Well, there'll be a judge assessing the difficulty, which is equivalent to a tariff. So the gymnasts are awarded something called a start value for all their complex skills and combinations. And then there'll be other judges evaluating the quality and the errors that were noticed.
Errors noticed there. 8-6-2-5 for Dragulescu. Cédric Guille of France is the next man, and he's on the high bar. Just missed out on a medal in Hungary last year, 4th on the high bar.
Beautiful swinging, extended long arms. Oh, full twisting Jaeger somersault, but he couldn't quite get his hands around that bar.
Extraordinary sound with the bar vibrating, isn't it? Like a machine gun going off there.
Yeah, that sprung steel can take 4 times the body weight in many of these skills.
But as always, barring injury, they get back on and finish the routine.
Got to regain his composure and just make sure this routine only has 1 error and not others. And just to show, he does it again. I can do this skill really. Step on landing, in that double twisting, double somersault. He's not the happy man.
Just to let you know how it's all scored, all the team points, everyone's individual points. Cédric Guille here for France. That'll be added to France's total score. And, well, the country with the biggest score after all 6 rotations gets the gold medal.
They have slightly different rules for the qualifying competition, in that you can have 6 gymnasts in your team. You choose your best 5 to perform on each apparatus, and then you take your top 4 scores. So if you take an error with one of your gymnasts, that score you can drop. Where in this team final, it's much tougher. It's 3 gymnasts and all 3 scores are added. So if you have a mistake, that is all part of your score.
France, as we saw, lying 6th after that. Alexei Bondarenko for Russia.
The speed of those giants into that Kovac. Three catch-offs in a row, named after the great Russian gymnast. That's a great routine, he'll be pleased with that. High level difficulty, beautifully performed.
Brilliant from Bondarenko.
Look how the gymnast uses their body to whip themselves from a backward swing to a forward swing in those catch-offs. They whiz around that bar so fast.
And it's fair to say, for those of you who haven't tried it, it is an awful lot more difficult than it looks, the high bar. You know, Vincent, what's it like sitting there waiting for your marks to come up? They do try and look busy, don't they?
Yeah, I think he's positively apprehensive. When he does a routine that well, he can fairly accurately predict what it's worth. There's the start value.
Yeah, 9.8 the start value.
And only 3.5 or 3 3/4 tenths deducted.
Yeah, 9.425. Now here's someone you might recognize. Alexei Nemov of Russia.
This gymnast's been around a long time now. Such experience and still a master. These skills can be done in various shapes, as the Kovac in the straight position, similar to his teammate. But the Ginger somersault at the end of those 3 catch-offs. And another Kovac, this time in that tuck shape. The compulsory elements now building up for this dismount. Can he stick it? Just a whisker of a step.
Still pretty good from Nemov, and it's extraordinary. As you say, he has been around for a while, but the dedication remains. Just a tiny bit overweight last year, didn't medal in Debrecen, but he looks back.
Well, the nature of the sport has changed, and these are professionals now that can earn a living, as so many world-class sportsmen do. But you've got to be in such peak condition to be doing gymnastics at this level.
So this is the end of the first rotation. This is where we get an idea, after we get Nemov's score, of the overall standings.
The equipment's improved, and you can see by the thickness of those mats, the athletes are afforded better protection of their bodies, so hopefully they can continue in their career longer.
Start value of 10, 9.712 was Nemov's score. Russia, from the USA, from China, from Korea, but not an awful lot in it. I mean, if you go down to Romania, they'll still fancy the chances.
Yeah, Russia leading at the moment, but don't forget each team will have started on a specific apparatus where they might have certain strengths or weaknesses, so this is all going to balance out as we progress around the other apparatus.
You might want to watch this. The reigning world champion, Marius Urzica of Romania. Gold and how in Hungary last year. Simply awesome.
Watch how fast his hands move. Up to 2 or 3 hand movements per second. The full twisting scissor, they call that skill. Oh, a little breaking form there. Come on, swing faster. No, that's not up to his Debrecen standard.
Just a little bit messy. .9787, I remember, was his score when he took gold in the final in Hungary last year. Just to let you know the difference between these World Championships. Here we have, as we said, the team event. It's about qualification for Athens next year as much as anything else, and then there's the medals. Last year it was just individual apparatus finals. Here it's the whole thing.
Yeah, the sport has changed, and there are now specialists that might only do 1 or 2 apparatus, and their particular forte is the individual apparatus championships.
Doesn't look too happy.
So in this team final, an apparatus specialist wouldn't be used by their country, because here we need 3 gymnasts that can perform on every apparatus, all 6 apparatus. How many hours of training does it take to perform gymnastics at this level? They're full-time athletes.
9.437. I thought you were going to launch into a joke there, Vincent. How many hours of training does it take to, change a light bulb? This is Teng Haibin of China, again on the pommel.
You say how hard gymnastics is, Vassos, to swing high bar, but this apparatus is by far the most difficult. To swing your body round, solely supported on your hands.
And I guess as a rule of thumb, the easier they make it look, the better they're doing. It isn't easy. Good routine there.
Yeah, I think he'd be pleased with that. They'll have had podium training to practice and fine-tune. So it'll be the 3rd time he's performed that routine in this arena, so getting in the swing of it now.
Looked solid. It looked like he was in the flow of the routine. A couple of minor errors there. But all in all, pretty good.
Yeah, these Chinese gymnasts have such finesse, small-framed men in some ways, but such strength in relation to their body weight.
9.712, as you say, he'll be pleased with that.
This man, son of the great Tsukahara.
How's that for pressure?
I wonder if Dad's there watching.
Just a moment to compose himself. And then it's a case of just exploding into the routine.
Each nation provides judges, and these are drawn. The judges will be studying. See those feet glued together.
Oh, errors there.
He just clipped his leg a tiny bit. That'll cost him probably 2/10.
Once you do make an error like that, it is hard to get back in the swing of the routine, isn't it? One error tends to lead to another.
That's right. They'll obviously be drilled, and their coach will have made sure that they practice covering up any tiny mistakes so that the cost is minimal. Here it comes. Are you ready? Just caught his shin on that full twisting single leg skill. It saps your strength when you have a little knockback like that to get your rhythm going again.
It didn't cost him too much. 9.487 his score, which brings us to the end of the second rotation. Look at that. China from the United States, from Japan, Russia, who were leading after the first, down to fourth, but as you can see, not a lot separating the first four.
But there's a half a mark lead for China, and at gymnastics at this level, that's significant. So there must have been errors or exceptional gymnastics by China to pull away there.
It's worth noting we're showing you highlights here on Eurosport. We don't know who's going to win. Hope you don't either. We're enjoying the competition. Li Xiaopeng on the rings for China.
These white bowls, if you're wondering, contain the chalk that gymnasts use to make sure they can have a grip and that sweat doesn't allow their hands to slip on the apparatus.
One of these stars of last year's World Championships, double gold medalist on the parallel bars and on the vault. Now this looks terrifying to the untrained eye. It's sheer strength, Vincent, isn't it?
It certainly is. Every muscle in the shoulder girdle and throughout the body is used here. And the trend has become super strength skills. Straight into the L crucifix and press out. And this one called inverted crucifix or cross. Just lifts his head there to show the judges how strong he is. Beautiful control. And the swinging skills. And the giant swing to the double back with full twist.
They're high-fiving in China as well. It's caught on, and they have good reason to high-five after that. A good routine.
Yep, that will certainly be helping their team score. Look at those deltoids straining. Almost perfect. Let's see what his start value is. They're aiming for that 10 start value. There's only a few of them will be achieving.
Not sure that was a 10 start value, was it? But it was certainly very few mistakes in the routine.
I think the judges will be crediting all those strength skills. They have to be certainly he's got the 10 start value.
He has, at 9.6 only. The judges saw things that we didn't. That's their job, I guess.
That's right. Some people do those strength skills a little too fast, but his was shown with precision.
And another of this increasingly formidable Chinese team, Huang Xu.
Coach steadies him.
He was in Hungary last year, 4th on the parallel bars.
Oh, this is big strength work. Uprise to planche to front lever. Look at those shoulders level with the rings. That's what the judges want to see. Hold the handstand. Well, he stuck it, but those circling of the arms, the judges will just take a little bit, I think. The judges can take half-tenths or even tiny little bits and add them together, because they've got to distinguish these best gymnasts in the world. No twist in that dismount. Just 2 somersaults. He's got his 10 start value as well. The Chinese will be very pleased with those ring exercises, I think. Consolidating their lead.
9.662. Hiroyuki Tomita, 4th in the rings last year at the World Championships in the individual apparatus finals. Here he is representing his country. Pretty good from Tomita. They like it.
All the gymnasts very supportive of each other.
Good strength work.
Yeah, that's a very difficult skill to be able to join those two directly. And straight away he's got to get ready for his next apparatus. Rings to parallel bars.
9.650, that's what the judges thought of that. Jason Gatson of the United States of America. In the past year or so, he has come on a bundle, especially in this apparatus.
He really is your pocket Hercules. So strong, this man.
And listen to the crowd. They do support their own in the United States. And why not? It's a good atmosphere here. Brilliant.
They'll certainly be pleased. That's how to stick a landing. The judges won't be able to take any penalty there.
Well, we're seeing the score for Lee Sun-sung of Korea at 9.337. Well, let's have a look once again at Gatson.
2 somersaults, 1 twist, and he nails it.
And that's the cheer, that's the score, 9-7-1-2. Great score, and you have to say, Vincent, thoroughly deserved.
Absolutely. The American team hyped and giving each other every encouragement.
And listen to the crowd. Blaine Wilson, another home gymnast. 80–90% of the crowd here would love to see Team USA take gold on home soil and really throw the gauntlet down to the rest of the world ahead of Athens 2004.
Well, as we said, they came into this team final as the leading team, but they've got some work to do against China. They've been practicing those dismounts, and that's the last image the judge gets of the routine, and always leaves that feel-good factor.
Listen to the crowd chants of USA, USA. Every little bit helps. It'll just influence the judges, perhaps not, but difficult to score someone down when you've got so many people cheering for a good mark.
Yeah, the judge is certainly going to be feeling the pressure and atmosphere of this arena.
It was a wonderful routine.
Well, I've known World Championships where the crowd has actually stopped the competition with their cheering and opinion of a score.
I'm glad to say no streakers that I've come across in gymnastics yet, but I suppose it's a first for everything. Hopefully not here. The crowd think that Blaine Wilson should be Lord of the Rings, if you excuse the pun. The judges agree. 9-7-3-7. A wonderful routine, well rewarded. It's our friend Marian Dragulescu again with his ring routine.
Note, the gymnasts all wear handguards on the apparatus. This leather protects their palm and also gives them an extra grip, makes their fingers slightly more efficient at hooking over the apparatus.
Also, it's a nice pause, isn't it, just by the chalk to compose yourself.
That last-minute mental rehearsal. We call it the green light moment. The scoring console, a green light comes up, and that's the time to produce your very best. Happy?
I think you caught the end of that word from Vincent. My mistake. Sorry about that. We were discussing whether he'd be happy with his dismount, and I think not really.
Well, there's a double twist in those two somersaults, so a complex, count them, 1 and 2. So high on the difficulty level.
And nearly, I guess, on the execution. One of the greats in world gymnastics, Marian Dragulescu. Big star in his native Romania. 9-6.
Not up to the American standard.
Even par for Dragulescu, another of the powerful Russian team. Back to the pommel horse. I'm sure I gave you his name, Nikolai Kryukov.
That walk around the horse, ironically called a Russian. Notice how freely he swings from his shoulders. Well, that's the best routine I've seen this event.
9-6-7-5. Very, very strong from Kryukov. And that brings us to the end of the third rotation. 6 rotations in all. And let's have a look how they're standing. China commanding enough lead over the United States, the home side. Japan lying 3rd, Russia 4th. And I think it's between those 4 for the gold medal. China in pole position. We're going to take a short break. Join us for the rest of the team composition after it. And warm welcome back. It's the men's team final at the 2003 World Artistic Gymnastics Championships. Anaheim, USA, the venue. And it's China leading after the first 3 rotations, as they're called, in this team final. All the countries who've qualified for the final have also qualified for the Olympics in Athens next year. That was plan A. That's been accomplished. Plan B is to medal. Young Tae Young on the rings for Korea. Alongside me, Vincent Walder, former British international, now head coach at Heathrow Gymnastics Club. And Vincent, a pretty good routine from Yang so far.
Yeah, that's good control in handstand. Notice he's got to try and keep his shoulders and arms free of those cables. He's too tense to relax and smile.
Hamm, one of the popular Americans, 9.562. He's been around for a while. There's Hamm. And so his results. Was Yang's routine.
Remember, in this team final, the countries pick their top 3 gymnasts to compete on each apparatus. And then those 3 scores are added together, so if they have a mistake, they have to carry that mistake in their team total.
SV, in case you missed it before the break, stands for start value. 10 is the highest. And then mistakes are taken off that. 9.687 was Yang's score. Vialtsev of the Ukraine. Next man to go.
Ukraine coming into this team final in 8th place from the qualification competition. They were a world leading force, but have dropped back in recent years.
Vincent, talk us through his routine to the non-gymnastics aficionado.
Well, ring routines have to comprise of strength and swinging parts, and each strength hold has to be held for 2 seconds. We've got our crucifix position, various other transitions from the strength parts. Pressing to handstand there. No wobbles in handstand, that's what the judges want to see.
They don't really want to see a step on dismount, but they just did. And he'll be marked down a little for that.
Fashion even coming into men's gymnastics. I know some of you will be noticing the leotard.
Concentration and effort etched on his face. 9.697. I was trying to keep score there. Let's see how I'd rate as a judge. Oh, not bad. 9.662. Start value once again 10. We haven't seen any vaults yet. We're about to. Paul Hamm's brother, Morgan Hamm.
If you look at the small icon in your screen, it's showing a vault that's now defunct. For the last 2 years, the world governing body have utilised something they now call a vaulting table. Gone is the vaulting horse that you might remember from school.
Foot outside the line, it wasn't a great landing.
That twist lost a bit of control.
I've seen him produce better. Looks almost identical to his brother. I'm glad we're told which one's coming. He hard pushed to separate them. 9.512 his score. Yang Wei of China next on the vaulting table.
Looking down that vault run-up, they've got to be a world-class sprinter.
Bronze medalist on the vault at last year's World Championships. Gold went to Li Xiaopeng, another factory line of great Chinese gymnasts, and that was a pretty good vault. His coach liked it. And I think they're high fives to the Chinese. We'll see it on a replay. Vincent, talk us through this vault.
Yeah, this is the Tsukahara. Let's count the twists. 1, 2. Was it 2? Was it 3? Blinked and missed it there.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think that's a Tsukahara with 3 twists. I've never seen that before. So that will be a vault of the highest tariff.
That's just brilliant from the Chinese. Competition is fierce to get into this Chinese team, to say the least. Expect many of these guys not even to feature in their team for Athens. 9.750. 9.750. And the Chinese just seem to be dominating this competition so far. And still to come, in fact, next to come, the reigning World Championship gold medalist on the vault, Li Xiaopeng.
There's many sports specialists that use video in their evaluation, and you wonder whether these judges will need that type of tool to make the most accurate assessment with new complex vaults like that.
Well, exactly, and the technology's there. It's not there. I mean, it takes them a while to give the results anyway. Another couple of seconds, I'm not sure anyone would really mind. I will never forget his vault in the final in Debrecen last year. 9.818, something like that. Simply superb. And he produced today. Oh, it's not bad, is it? It is not bad. I think we'll be seeing an awful lot more of this man.
The different style of vaulting, he uses that round-off skill, puts his hands down in front of the springboard. There it is, half turn into the handspring, 1.5 twists in the straight position.
Tiny pulls on landing. Didn't step out of the line though. And he is fast becoming the gymnast in artistic gymnastics worldwide. 9.762. Look at that. He just doesn't disappoint. China are going to take some catching. 3.5 and some ahead of the United States in second. And this team final getting a bit of order after 4 rotations. Is that going to be the gold, silver, bronze? China, USA, Japan. Russia have some catching up to do. If they're to medal, they can forget the gold right now. 5th rotation coming up. Li Xiaopeng, gold medalist on the vault. Last year, gold medalist on the parallel bars. Here he goes. On the parallel bars. And once again, Vincent, tell us a bit about this apparatus for those who don't watch gymnastics day in, day out.
Well, he started with a sideways entry, and the trend now has been to include somersaults between the bars. We've seen it done in the piked, tucked and forward straddle shape. Note those upper arm protectors. And a double pike dismount nailed.
Nailed utterly, wasn't it? That's great stuff. I love watching him. Li Xiaopeng. If he's fit and on form, he will be taking a hatful of Olympic gold medals home with him, I think, this time next year.
There's that double pike somersault. Such forces on his upper arms as they contact the bar.
And this dismount. Look at that. I think that was the Chinese, but come on. And well he might. He produced on the vault. He's just produced again on the parallel bars.
Such camaraderie among these world-class gymnasts.
9.762, he'll take that. And the Chinese total just keeps getting bigger. 143.109. And we're midway through the 5th rotation.
Everyone has their own preparation, concoction. Bit of sugar water just to make those bars a little bit more grippy.
Tsukahara of Japan, the next man to go on the P-bars, as they're called. And when he gets it right, he gets it right. Japan, remember, lying in 3rd place Russia breathing down their necks. They need him to get it right. Can he?
Beautiful line in handstand. Just like a stick. The giant circle into those multiple somersaults. Many of these gymnasts using the side parallel bar skills now to have greater variety.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. He got it right.
And he just stays there to let the judges and everyone know. It's a lovely feeling to stick a dismount. And I'm sure it's even better when you've got that crowd behind you.
Great routine, great dismount. Different reaction to sticking the dismount. We had whatever the Chinese is for come on from Li Xiaopeng. It's rather more measured. A wonderful routine. How did the judges see it? 9-8, they loved it. They loved it. An applause from everyone around, as you say, great camaraderie.
Even the team doctor will be with the gymnast as an integral part of the team spirit.
We saw him on the rings, where he acquitted himself very well indeed. 9-7-1-2. Mr. Jason Gatson. Handy on the P-bars too, though.
The case that the stronger gymnasts can't swing as well as those that are more linear, but apart from a tiny form break at the beginning, that's a very good routine.
Under pressure, the home crowd, well, they can help you, but also they add pressure, don't they? And the United States need the points if they're going to get anywhere near the gold medal. They're currently in second place. We're coming to the end of the 5th rotation.
A couple of unique combinations in there. The judges will be impressed with that. What these gymnasts mustn't do is be thinking of results. They've just got to be concentrating on doing their job. That routine, the results will follow.
Enormously strong. 9-7-2-5. Doesn't look that happy, but that is a very, very good score. The last man we're going to see on the P-bars. This is the 6th rotation, incidentally. China still leading from the USA. This is Roman Zozulia of the Ukraine. Disappointing vault. 8-9-2-5, but elsewhere he's acquitted himself very well indeed. 9-6-8-7. On the rings, 9-2-6-2 on the floor, which isn't his favourite discipline.
I tend to forget how high these parallel bars are. This man can walk under them quite comfortably. A little rushed, I think, that routine. Businesslike, but not his very best.
Seem to be forcing the pace, you're right, a little bit.
I'm not sure if that was an error or part of the routine, but lost a bit of his fluency there.
Puts on his accreditation thing. Accreditation pass, you wear them around your neck. 9-6. His score, 165-108. Ukrainian total score, another of these great Chinese gymnasts. Teng Haibin, 9-7-1-2 on the pommel. And this is the high bar. First high bar routine we've seen. Vincent, what are the particular difficulties and things that the judges are looking for on the high bar?
Well, he started off with some simple skills, and it's the release skills, those exciting elements where they let go of the bar, somersault and recatch. That's why high bar is such a crowd pleaser. This certainly isn't in the league of the top Russian gymnasts, though. Steady but not outstanding in this world-class field. But the coach is happy.
You know what I think that's done? I think that has guaranteed China gold. He had to get through it without a major mistake. There wasn't a major mistake. There were a few little ones. They're celebrating.
I wonder if that was a tactical decision to perhaps cut one or two of those highly complex and sometimes risky elements.
Well, you don't want to come off the bar and let the Americans in if you're Chinese. And as you say, it was steady. They won't score badly at all.
No, everything was there, but it just wasn't those super high quality release skills.
Anything over 9-6.
Dismount world class.
Even with my mathematics, I can tell you that the Chinese will be team world champions. They think they are. I'm not sure they even need 9-6, but I can guarantee you if it's over 9-6, they'll take gold. I think they've done it. They think they've done it.
When you've been in the sport this long, you know what level of routine's required, and I think they're convinced. They went into this final rotation with a little cushion of a lead.
Quite a large cushion, really. 9-7-2-5. Good score. And that is gold for China. That is gold for China. And watch out for them. They've got more where they came from. We'll see more of the Chinese, of course, in the individual apparatus and in the all-round. But there's silver and bronze to battle out, too. Kashima of Japan. He looks relaxed. I guarantee you he isn't. Japan chasing silver, but also wanting to hang on to bronze. And it's all up to him.
Beautiful twisting skills. These can rate highly as well.
Just what the doctor ordered, or the head coach ordered, puts the pressure on the USA. It'll be Blaine Wilson on the high bar for them. It's currently Japan in third place, but Wilson knows he can't afford to slip up after this routine from the Japanese gymnast. Wonderful camera angle we're seeing, and you can see why gymnastics competitions tend to end with a high bar. It is just great to watch.
Brains like cats. Twist and somersault, land on your feet.
9-7-1-2. So, no pressure, Blaine. You can't get gold, hang on to silver for the home side. No messing about, straight on with it.
Straight Kovacs, you needed some muscles to keep going there. But these guys are used to competing on the university circuit with big crowds, so I'm sure he can take pressure.
I may have got those medals muddled up. I meant hang on to silver. Very good so far. Dismount. Superb, superb. That is silver for the United States. Almost certainly. Brilliant from Blaine Wilson. He was brilliant also when we saw him on the rings, didn't we? And under all sorts of pressure. That's what they want it to be given. 10. It won't be far short. Great routine, Vincent.
Yeah, that couldn't have finished their performances better, could it? Brings to an end. They'd have liked gold, but I'm sure a silver medal in the team is a just reward.
So they'll go for gold in the women's team finals. We said, you saw that graphic. It's coming up tomorrow on Eurosport. Just poor apparatus for the women, but we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Let's just have a look again at Blaine Wilson's wonderful high bar routine.
The crowd loving it.
9-7-8-7. It is the highest score on the high bar, although the Chinese played it tactically. Great stuff. Under all sorts of pressure, they'll take gold, and it's a thoroughly deserved gold medal for China. But the USA, absolutely no disgrace in silver. Japan take bronze. And it's Russia 4th, Romania 5th, and down to the Ukraine, who are last in the final, but we'll be seeing them in Athens 2004. That's what it's all about, really, from here on in, briefly, Vincent, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic competition. I'm sure the women's team event is going to be equally as exciting.
Well, let's hope so. It's first blood to China at the 2003 World Gymnastics Championships. From Vincent and myself, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Another dose of World Gymnastics Champions for you here on Eurosport. Good morning. It's the men's all-around final we'll be focusing on. It's the 2003 World Championships in Anaheim in the USA. With me, John Peary, the former British schools national coach, now a gymnastics consultant working with the top clubs in Britain. And John, we're looking forward to what should be, if the team finals are anything to go by, another cracking evening of gymnastics.
It should be tremendous, Vassos. I'm really looking forward to it. Men's gymnastics, so exciting, so dynamic, so strong.
Marian Dragulescu of Romania, the first to go in this first rotation. 6 apparatus. In the men's game, of course, Dragulescu about to start his floor routine. Last year's individual apparatus World Championships, he took gold on the floor. That was in Debrecen, or Debrecen, as we learned to pronounce it in Hungary. We're underway.
That's a fantastic opening. Double layout somersault with a full twist, immediately punch front somersault, 1 1/4. That will cost him dearly. Step out of the floor area costs him 0.1. Flares through to split. First done by Thomas, American. Now his last tumble. Double twisting, double back. Fantastic.
Just what you'd expect from the reigning world champion on the floor. Careless, though. Careless to put a foot out.
Yeah, when they're doing these multiple combination somersaults, you've only got to be inches out, leaning forwards, leaning backwards. And the precision, which you can see here, is just offline through the diagonal, which should have taken him exactly to the corner.
It'll be reflected in his mark. Dragulescu, who qualified 5th for the all-around finals, keeping up a very strong gymnastics tradition from Romania. They just seem to produce them. 9.550 for Dragulescu. It's a decent start. He'd have been hoping for a little better.
I'm sure he would. That could have easily have been around 9.7 had it not been for the step out of the floor area.
It's Yang Wei of China on the pommel horse. Silver medalist in 2000 at the Olympic Games in the all-around event.
You saw him just touch the pommel handle there and his legs separated. The judges will definitely have noticed that. Very uncharacteristic. Shears with half turn. And the almost obligatory handstand dismount. Good routine, but I think he'll be a little disappointed with that.
Yes, we are watching the top gymnasts on the planet. Tiny mistakes is what they're wanting to avoid. It'll still be a very good mark. But as you say, again, almost a little rusty.
Yeah, he doesn't swing quite as good as perhaps his younger compatriots. He's a little tight in the shoulders.
Businesslike. And a businesslike score as well, 9.587. Certainly no disaster.
Strong man's piece of apparatus, the rings. It's important to watch the held elements to be assured that the shoulders are totally level with the rings. Try doing that at home, on your floor. Shoulders touch high. Boy, this guy's strong.
Eric Lopez Rios of Cuba. Powerhouse.
Gymnasts must combine swing with strength. Normally the swing coming at the end of the routine, just preceding the dismount.
Wobbles there on the handstand. Good dismount though. Eric Lopez Rios will be pleased with that. 9.637. The best mark we've seen so far on that particular piece of apparatus. 6 rotations, remember. Paul Hamm of the United States of America. 4th place on the floor last year in the World Championships. Helped his team to silver in the competition 2 days ago here, but he is assured, I mean, listen to that, he is assured of an awful lot of home support. They do get behind their own here.
Fantastic second combination, opened with double twisting, double back straight. A bit of break dancing there. Nice combination, originality that the judges are looking for. The obligatory lift to handstand. And the obligatory balance. Normally the rest period before their final big tumble. He needs a good one. Double layout, nailed. The Americans will be happy with that.
And how? He needed a good one. He got a good one. Try telling him, apart from his brother, incidentally, they look awfully similar. Paul Hamm, pressure on him. He qualified second for this all-around final, and he's bidding to become the first American since Kurt Thomas, you mentioned him, who won silver in '79. So Hamm trying to become the first medalist in some 25 years. A very good start, a very good start. Look at that dismount.
It's always great to get a good first routine under your belt, and floor's a nice piece of apparatus to start on. You can relax a little bit, you're comfortable with your tumbles.
Well, it's better than a good start for Paul Hamm. It's an excellent start, 9.625. He's second behind Lopez Rios of Cuba, but the rings are his speciality. Further down, look, the Spanish gymnast Victor Cano in 9th position. He'll be pleased with that. Tomita, 15th after the first rotation. 6 pieces of apparatus. And as the name would suggest, they rather rotate. So Hamm has started on the floor. Next up for him, it's the pommel horse.
Again, original work moving across the horse between the handles to start with. Magyar walk.
John, perhaps you could give us an idea of just how difficult this particular piece of apparatus is. When you see Paul Hamm doing it like this, it looks easy.
I agree with that. He definitely is performing very well. The pommel horse is pretty much to men like the beam is to women. A moment's loss of balance one way or the other, and you're off. But he's off with a great dismount.
He's on fire. He is on fire. Great floor routine. If anything, that was better on the pommel horse.
He's certainly cooking. As the Americans would say, he's up for it. And this would be his bogey piece if there were going to be one. Fantastic.
Many gymnasts see the pommel and the beam, I guess, as a necessary evil.
Yes.
Not quite so evil when you're in the mood and in the middle of a practically flawless routine like that. Great stuff.
And
great stuff.
He knew it.
9-7, the mark on the pommel. Deserved as well. He takes the early lead, and well, if he keeps this up, it won't just be a medal, it will be gold for Paul Hamm. But 4 pieces of apparatus to go. It's still very early. Tsukahara of Japan. Let's see what he can do on the pommel.
Son of the legendary Tsukahara from the 70s, who invented the vault. He once said to a British gymnast, Eddie Arnold, this is his Tsukahara's father, I can only do at my age one of 2 things, either warm up or compete. And he could compete exceptionally well. And see what his son can do.
Yeah, you always feel sorry for athletes who have legendary parents. It's not easy when you have that sort of shadow over your entire career. People don't mention him without mentioning his father. It can't be easy, but he's, I guess, over the years learned to cope with it. And here he is at the very top level, competing for his country, Japan.
Very difficult man. When you see them turning on one handle, there are only just enough space on the handle for 3 hand placements. So you put your hand in the wrong place and all of a sudden you run out of space. But he'll take that.
Couple of very small errors. The judges will have picked up on those, but as you say, he'll take that. He qualified first for this final. More pressure on him. 9.675 was his mark in the qualifiers on the Pommel horse. And that routine, well, and about the same mark. You see there, just a small error.
There, a little error. You could see how heavily he landed.
But we're talking millimeters, and the errors were very small. Exactly the same mark on the horse, 9.675. He'll be disappointed, though, with the mark from his floor routine. He's lying fourth currently. Another of the top Japanese gymnasts, Hiroyuki Tomita.
Many years, Pommel horse used to be the Japanese problem.
If anything, it's Tomita's speciality.
He's now solved it, or they have solved it. Nikolai Andrianov has spent many years in Japan helping them, the ex-Soviet gymnast from the 70s. This is good swinging. High leg lifts, very important in single leg work.
It doesn't look like much of a problem for Tomita. That's the best we've seen on the Pommel horse. And frankly, there are always going to be people who like the beam in the women's and like the Pommel in the men's, and Tomita's certainly one of those. Wonderful athlete. 9.737, his qualifying mark. But John, a great routine that, wasn't it?
Superb. Look how he's focusing on his body staying forward in the swing, trying to extend his hips forward as his legs swing to the front.
9.737. Once again, the judges have given the same mark. Thoroughly deserved, the best Pommel routine we've seen yet. Svengiatowski, the German. He's about to embark on his parallel bar routine.
Interesting opening. Very different. Healy from one bar and Healy from the second bar. There's a little mistake in handstand. Little hop sideways to land in, but a good routine. Not exceptional in terms of the overall standard. Stock routine, little bit of originality in the Healy from one bar. But I'm sure he'd be happy with that.
Original, a few little mistakes again. The judges do tend to notice.
That's their job, Vassos. Nice high double pike, little hop to one side. He'd be pleased to be here in the top 24 all around. That's a good result for the Germans.
Certainly is. Third reserve he was. Gryzowski. And 9.225 his mark. Yeremetov will be hoping for rather better, the Kazakhstani.
I like that a lot. Under somersault with half turn. Giant swing with full turn. Double back. And a good extension kick out. This is excellent. That's good work. Good original work.
9-6-1-2. I'd go as far as to call it a great routine. Yang Wei on the rings. Desperate to win gold. He didn't like silver, did he? In Sydney, but that's what he had to settle for. Certainly one of the few gymnasts who are coming to Anaheim and setting their sights solely on gold.
Inverted cross, wobbling around a little. Double layout, stuck once more. Excellent solid routine. Good strength work, good swing work, very accurate, as most of the Chinese are.
Last year in Hungary, it was bronze on the vault, his only medal. But we really are seeing, John, very, very high level of competition here. I mean, these are athletes at the top of their form, producing the goods under pressure.
Yeah, and the Chinese are just so accurate. They may not always produce it on the day, and they're often prone to making mistakes, but more often not, their accuracy is tremendous, their precision fantastic.
Well, Yang Wei, with his precision, it's taking him into second place. Paul Hamm leading. Two wonderful routines from him so far. And Dragulescu back in 16th position. We'll have more from the men's all-around final after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back to Anaheim, the 2003 World Artistic Gymnastics Championships, the men's all-round final. And a picture of the leader, Paul Hamm, of the USA. 6 pieces of apparatus for each gymnast. He's leading after 2 rotations. Here he goes on the rings.
Good start, Maltese cross. Kip, and back we go again. Very high strength difficulty.
Here's a man with a point to prove. 2 years ago at the World Championships in Ghent in Belgium, he looked all set to win the all-round gold medal until a hard fall off the high bar or horizontal bar on his last rotation cost him all hopes of a medal. Let's see how he reacts if he's leading after 5 rotations again this time around. A business-like performance on the rings from Paul Hamm.
I think business-like's a good description. Nothing's exceptional. Very accurate, enough. Difficulty, full twisting, double back straight, somersault to dismount. Most of the top gymnasts don't risk that difficult dismount because of the step that you could see Paul just take there on landing. So that would have cost him a 10th.
Fair to say, though, not his favourite piece of apparatus, so he'll be pleased, I guess, with a business-like score. Which is exactly what he gets. 9,475 takes his points total to 28,800, and he retains first position. Eric Lopez Rios of Cuba lying third after 2 rotations, a third of the way around. The P-bars. Each gymnast has their own specific way of preparing for a routine. It's just a case of getting the mind organised as much as putting chalk on the bars, isn't it?
Yeah, each gymnast, some of them use sugar water, orange mixture to try and avoid slipping, obviously, from the bars. Some gymnasts prefer chalk on the bars, others want it all off. The Cuban Suarez from many years ago performed some exceptional work on parallel bars. We'll see if Eric can follow in his footsteps. Interesting board placement. Wow, that's powerful. And that is. Straddle cut to catch. Don't see many of those these days. Apart from the step, that was very, very powerful, very original, exceptional work.
Great stuff. Certainly one to look out for. He's proving that. Powerful on rings. And as you say, original and powerful on the parallel bars.
Just noticed the line on his feet, or a little Doc Martin, we call it. Looks as if he's wearing a pair of boots. But his work, tremendous work. Standard Stutz to handstand, double back dismount. Here we go again. Under somersault with half turn to handstand. Whoosh. Front uprise with half turn to handstand. Under somersault with beautifully straight arms to handstand. Under somersault half turn. Double back somersault. Great routine.
You really get the idea of how hard it is and how powerful it is from that camera angle above. 9-6 the score. He remains very much in contention. So does this man, Yang Wei of China. His vault. Vaulting horse these days, and just one chance to get it right. And the step aside, get it right, he most certainly did. 9-6-3-7.
Kazumatsu vault with double twist.
Takes over the lead from Paul Hamm. Hiroyuki Tomita on the rings.
Very light frame gymnast. That's strong, very strong. During his strength work, he almost looks as if he's just sitting in the armchair watching television. Now the swing work. Forward giants to handstand. Double layout, very small step. He'll be exceptionally pleased with that.
Judges liked it too. 9-6-6-2. Puts him in the melting pot. Yang Wei of China leads the way, but not by much from Paul Hamm, Lopez Rios. All of them have a chance. Jason Gatson, a couple of mistakes in the final. 2 gymnasts from each country allowed to compete in the all-around event. Gatson had a good qualifying as well. He was 4th place to Hamm's second.
The new vaulting table allows a greater margin for error at takeoff, and with a lot of the gymnasts now, both men and women, performing blind vaults, that is to say, you approach the horse from a round off and jump backwards at it. It's far safer, and as I mentioned earlier, allows for a far greater margin of error. And we haven't seen too many errors so far.
Well, very few from this man. He's lying second, halfway through this final. And off he goes.
That's exactly the vault that I was referring to.
And the errors you were referring to, small ones.
Little step. I'm not sure if I saw his foot move outside that tram line. The round-off entry, Yurchenko entry, back somersault with 2.5 twists. Did he take a step out?
Oh, yes,
yes,
big one.
He did. That's deductible.
9.537. Well, he goes into first place, but...
Well, he'll take that.
Yeah, Yang Wei yet to go. He's next up on the P-bars. Leading by less than half a point. And with every rotation, the pressure just cranks up another notch as we approach the business end of the final. Lots of...
Ooh, little correction there in handstand. Very difficult. Front uprise, double back somersault. Healy. Double pike back somersault. Hop half turn to handstand. Another double tuck somersault. Good routine, little errors like we saw before on Pommel horse. Maybe just slightly off tune.
I was going to say lots of waiting around. 24 competitors make it through to the final. You wait, you try and stay focused, you try and stay warm ahead of your turn on each piece of apparatus.
You can see the legs there a little. Of course, in slow motion, it's much easier to pick out. The judges don't have that opportunity. And again, the left leg and the hop back. A good routine, but he knows that he would have performed that better.
9.587. Well, good enough to extend his lead. Nearly 0.1 of a point.
I like this guy. Romanian women for many years have been at the forefront of Romania's gymnasts. The men over the last years have really excelled themselves.
Whoa. Oh, that's stunning. That is stunning from Dragulescu. Well, that's what he can do when he gets it right. 7th place only on the vault last year in Hungary. If it produced that, I dare say it might have been gold.
That was fantastic. The height, 3 somersaults and a half turn, as damn it, nailed. Take something off that if you dare, judges.
As close to perfection as you're likely to see. An enormously difficult vault, performed beautifully.
Fantastic.
Oh, great stuff from Dragulescu. Look at the Romanians, they love it. That's why we come here, to see gymnasts of the highest order producing the goods when it matters. 9.850. And if anything, that's a little harsh.
I would agree with that. Yovchev. Ooh, that's original. That hurt. Oh, right on his chest. You could see he was offline on the Healy, slightly offline then. That hurt. Ouch. Ouch.
Well, he took 2 medals home from Hungary. Not, it has to be said, on this piece of apparatus. He was bronze medalist on the floor and took silver on the rings. Hasn't quite produced his top form in Anaheim yet. Still the individual apparatus finals to go. And there goes Yovchev's chance of a medal, you'd imagine.
Definitely. Of course, now living in America, he can smile about it.
8.725. And I guess, if anything, that's generous. We're 2/3 of the way through this all-around final for men. It's China from the USA, from Kazakhstan. But watch out for the Japanese, too. 2 more rotations to come. Numbers 5 and 6. And they will decide the medals. Whatever you do, do not go away. It is the business end of the men's all-around final at this year's World Artistic Gymnastics Championships in Anaheim in the United States. Tsukahara, son of, lying just outside a medal place. Qualified for the final in first place, but he needs a good routine to haul himself up into 3rd or 2nd. I think it's going to be between, mistakes aside, Hamm and Yang Wei for gold. But there's plenty who could grab bronze, including this man. He likes the P-bars. It's his 5th rotation of 6.
Relatively easy mount, so we'll have some big stuff coming now. Very clean work. Sometimes very interesting just to watch the toes and feet. Just to see if they separate. Great routine. Great routine.
Good stuff from Tsukahara. It's not often you hear. Sometimes it's interesting to watch the toes and feet, but you're absolutely right. It does give a very good indication of how the routine is going.
You'll notice the little armbands they have, sweatbands around their bicep, triceps. They're to avoid friction burns when they do these double somersaults between the bars. Obviously, they're coming down from a height. And they do get significant burns underneath their arms if they were not to wear those.
9.687 his score provisionally, but the lead is yet to go in first place. It could, you know, come down to a battle for bronze between Tsukahara and this man, Hiroyuki Tomita. Tomita with this P-bar routine, and then the high bar to come in his final rotation. Tsukahara will be on the floor. And I'll tell you what, they may be teammates, but that has only increased the desire to finish top Japanese gymnast and, if possible, in the medals. He knows what he's got to follow. 9.687 from Tsukahara, who's currently lying 5th. Tomita currently 4th.
great respect that the Japanese have for the sport. Stoop through dismount, quarter turn in. Under somersault, half turn. Under somersault. Giant swing double tuck. This will be good. This will be very good.
And is.
Such ease. Back up rise to handstand. Wow. Oh. Just a step on landing. That was very difficult to fault. Exceptional work.
Watched his teammate, knew what he had to do, and did it.
No separation of the legs. Feet glued together. Exactly how it should be. What a shame on the dismount. Oh. Tremendous. Tremendous work. Coach is happy. It's always a good sign.
Got to keep the coach happy, as he kept the judges happy. Well, yes, he has. The same mark as his teammate, 9.687. I think we both thought it was rather better than that. This man, Roman Zozulia of the Ukraine. He's about to go on the high bar. The crowd-pleasing piece of apparatus.
Definitely hugely dynamic, explosive, flying, acrobatics, turns. Nemov, who isn't in this all-around final because he only competed 4 pieces of apparatus. He has 5 release and catch movements. Sorry, 6. 4 of them follow each other immediately.
The great Alexei Nemov, Russian gymnast. We'll be seeing him in the individual apparatus finals over the weekend.
Wow, that's hard. Here's the coach, a little anxious. You can tell it's very nerve-wracking being under the men's high bar routine. Excellent, excellent work. A lot of the precision required on men's high bar is through the movements going to handstand. Perhaps he wasn't quite as accurate through handstand as he might like to have been. Like there, for example, where he caught the bar very low. That would be deducted. But nonetheless, some exceptionally difficult work. There, you can see it's almost horizontal by the time he catches the bar, and again, which is why the coach was a little apprehensive.
The thoughts of John Perry, former British schools national coach, now a gymnastics consultant. And John, while we watch this dismount again, Zozulia with no chance of medaling, let us know how a former international volleyball player becomes a gymnastics consultant. And what exactly is a gymnastics consultant?
I spend time by being invited by clubs in Great Britain. There are many top women professional clubs now in the country. Most of them with very young coaches, trying to glean a little bit more information, which hopefully I can offer them.
And volleyball to gymnastics, is that a natural progression? It doesn't strike me as being particularly natural.
Well, I love the sport of gymnastics, but at 6'2", swinging on the rings and high bar were a bit of a problem for me. I used to touch the floor with my feet, so swinging round was difficult to say the least.
Yerimbetev of Kazakhstan, about to embark on his Pommel routine.
Very different start. Sheer work. There's nothing in the code that says you have to start with double leg circles, though most do. Original start. Good work, good extension. And just said that. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that from Yerenbetter. He has the high bar to come, and he's in the mix for a medal. And certainly will remain so after a routine like that.
Good work.
Always a great view, this.
Just keeping yourself on balance. I thought towards the end of the routine there he was beginning to tighten up, but that's fantastically difficult. Here the hips just come a little close to his hands. Some great work. Maybe over the moon. Over the moon.
It's difficult, and it was very well executed. 9.662 his mark.
It's a great
He
score.
remains in the mix. First place, the top two to come. Yang Wei of China, desperate for gold. He has the high bar, and then the floor. Paul Hamm, lying in second place, has the P-bars, and then the high bar, and very little to separate them. There's one battle going on for gold and silver, and there's another for bronze. And it was the high bar that undid him rather in the Olympic Games, dropped him down to silver.
Tuck Kojak. Kovacs, not Kojak. Healy turn, Healy. Well, that's very difficult. Very difficult. Fantastically difficult work. He's definitely not on song.
Well, there was a step on off the dismount.
Medals are won and lost by the precision of dismounts, and as we've seen today, pommel horse, parallel bars and high bar, he's just making those small errors that allow the judges to take a tenth, or in that case in dismount from high bar, possibly 2/10. And that can become significant. It adds up almost to a fall, half a mark, if you keep adding up these dismount deductions.
I think it will be enough to keep him in a battle with Hamm for gold and silver. Hamm yet to go, of course. And, well, a big error, one big error, and all chance of a medal is gone. And you're right, there were little mistakes there, especially here.
They're very low landing, big step.
But, yes, 9.612 he's been given. Possibly a tiny bit generous, but it was a good routine.
Good routine.
And he's still up there.
Original work.
Hamm with a crowd on his side. They went bananas when the women's team took gold. The men had to settle for silver behind China, and it's once again the top American gymnast and the top Chinese gymnast battling it out for first and second. Good stuff from Hamm.
Good lines. Wow, and a kick out from pike back dismount, showing the judges that he can do that any day of the week, whenever he's asked. Fantastic.
Now this will be interesting. Is that enough to take him into the lead with one rotation to go? Remember, it's Hamm on high bar and it's Yang Wei on the floor. Lovely, lovely dismount. Great routine. Scoping with the pressure well. does bring its own pressure, performing in front of your home fans, but he seems to feed off them, and especially after that women's team gold. They, the crowd, are in the mood. He stays second as Paul Hamm, 9.662, but look at that, there is very little in it. One rotation to go. Yang Wei from Paul Hamm, Yerimbetov of Kazakhstan, currently occupying the last podium place, and all of these can forget any chance of a medal. They're battling it out for the minor places. Disappointing from Yobchev. Here we go then. Tomita with a chance of bronze, but he needs to nail this routine. Yerimbetov only 9.450 on his floor routine. That could let in Tomita.
Kovacs with full turn. Very difficult work. Stupendo to Healy. Stoop stole the full turn, and Stoop stole the 1.5 turn. Exceptionally difficult combination of work. And the dismount, he's got to go.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good. He's making us believe he thinks it's enough.
Sometimes very difficult. Every gymnast responds differently, and the Japanese, not the most over emotional of people to show their emotion, and others go absolutely nuts. Is he happy?
Remember watching Li Xiaopeng in the men's team final, nailed a vault, and whatever the Chinese for "come on" was, he roared it.
They are almost as different as chalk and cheese, the Chinese and the Japanese.
Oh, lovely routine from Tomita. The all-important mark, he's got it. He's been assured of bronze, 9.687. It could, of course, be gold if Yang Wei and Paul Hamm make big mistakes on their final rotations. Yang Wei, the leader to go first. He's on the floor. He needs something special. He has to assume that Paul Hamm will produce on the high bar.
Double twisting, double straight. Little pipe to the end, but nailed. Two and a half twist and somersault, punch front somersault. The obligatory strength movement. Was it held for 2 seconds?
This is where you start to tire. It's been a long competition. And it's nearly over. Can he finish with a flourish? Can he ever? Can he ever? Now then, nothing between them, remember. After 5 rotations, practically nothing. He liked the mark. There you go. That's expressiveness for you. I can tell you haven't got it on your screens yet, but the mark is 9.662. And what a finish to this all-around final. The body's hurting at this stage. 5 and nearly 6 routines completed. And it was, well, look at that reaction to the mark. Look at that. Great stuff from Yang Wei. Will it be gold? I can tell you that Hamm, on the horizontal or high bar, as we call it, horizontal in the United States, he needs a score of 9.712 or better for gold. He knows what he has to do. What a finish. The crowd can hardly watch. Here he goes.
Shoot handstand, Stolder. Kovacs with full turn. Great stuff. Kachev, beautifully high, and the straddle, and the pike, and the ginger. That's a combination that Nemov did. That's fantastic. Crowd love it.
And the dismount, and the dismount. Look at the crowd. Look at the crowd. He thinks he's done it. To be honest, I think he's done it. That was a wonderful routine, especially when you remember 2001, when a fall off the high bar cost him gold, cost him a medal when he was leading by a mile. He knew what he had to do. It was the same last piece of apparatus, and look at that. And he's done it, and he's done it. 9.775. Paul Hamm of the United States continues this amazing wave of medals. The women, the patched-up women's team, taking team gold. The men's team silver, and now all-around gold for Paul Hamm. Wonderful stuff, and he produced, John, when he needed to. Just put it into context. How good was that high bar routine?
When you know that you have to perform, you know you have to do the routine, you know you have to stick your dismount, the pressure is huge, and he did it, and he deserves every ounce.
Especially remembering that it was the high bar that cost him 2 years ago. Deserved gold, wonderful competition from Paul Hamm. Yang Wei has to settle for silver once again. Tomita does take bronze. And I guess it's a bit unkind, but we're calling these the also rounds. What a competition. Hamm against Yang Wei. Wow, it's been some World Championships so far. We have all the individual apparatus finals and the women's all-around to come for you on Monday on Eurosport. But it's Paul Hamm's night. Gold, once again, for the USA. Thanks for your company. We'll see you soon.
Alors que l'on découvre un Cubain, on ne les voit pas souvent, les Cubains.
Très enlevés, ils sont très forts au saut de cheval et au sol. Oui, deuxième en vol, très très haut.
Hiroyuki faisait lui aussi partie des grands prétendants au titre de champion du monde du concours général individuel. Hiroyuki qui a concouru pour le club d'Orléans cette année. Et là, arrêt dans l'exercice, évidemment. C'en est fini de sa note pour cet agrès-là. Et pour le concours, pour la victoire, ce sera difficile. On retrouve Lopez, le Cubain, au sol.
Encore très dynamique et très enlevé. 2 saltos avec 2 tours dans chaque salto.
Tsukahara, que l'on retrouve maintenant au saut. Oh, magnifique. Magnifique saut de Tsukahara, Kerembitov, aux anneaux. Une compétition extrêmement serrée. Entre Hamm, Wei, Tomita, le japonais, et Kerembitov. Il ne faut pas oublier Tsukahara qui s'attaque ici à la barre fixe.
Beaucoup d'élan. Et là, oh, un très beau lâcher malheureusement.
Et c'est là que Tsukahara perd toutes ses chances de bien figurer. Ou en tout cas, ses chances de podium.
10 more medals to sort out in Anaheim in the United States of America, the mountainous backdrop to the 2003 World Artistic Gymnastics Championships. First up, the men's floor. Alexei Nemov has been replaced, incidentally, by Igor Virov of Russia. But we're watching the Canadian Kyle Schufelt. You'll notice no music when the men take to the floor. Dancing often not their strong point. Certainly not mine, and this is good from Schufelt.
He's putting together some very complex skills, twists, somersaults to dive roll. With some nice little touches there, punch, just a full turn front support. That was a double twisting, double back to finish. Brilliant, brilliant start.
Oh, yes. And how? Beat that the rest of the field. Well done, Carl Schufelt. That certainly puts down a marker that the others will find mighty difficult to better.
That combination, 2.5 twists straight front to 1.5 dive roll. Very complex. And to finish with a double twist and double back, exceptionally high quality work.
9.737. Well, that's what they're aiming at. And here goes the reigning floor world champion, Marian Dragulescu of Romania. Well, he knows he's got a battle on. Takes a breath, and here he goes. He's had battles in the past, of course, and he's come out on top. But he's not had the best of world championships so far.
Interesting. The running double twisting front somersault. Ooh, that hurt. Just as he landed on straight legs, a little bit like you and I walking up the stairs in the dark and expecting one more step to be there, and it's not.
It looks rather ungainly, doesn't it? And that's not the name of this game.
Again, double twist and double back somersault. Good routine,
Yes.
but I'm not quite sure.
Yes, good routine under any normal circumstances, but it won't have helped his cause that it came on the back of that fantastic routine from Schufelt. Just to remind you, Schufelt leading the men's floor final with 9.737. Well, for my money, it was the Canadian routine. So it's better than this. I'm not sure Dragulescu is quite done enough. As you say, John, good, but was it good enough? And you can see, well, both from his face and then from the graphics, not quite. Not quite. Dragulescu will not retain his world championship.
You'll notice there are 6 scores that come up from the judges. There are judges who are just purely looking at how well the gymnast has performed each skill. They just take marks off. And there are 2 other judges who just look out for the difficulty.
Well, you heard the welcome for this man.
Huge man.
Came 4th on the floor last year, but has won all-around gold for the United States of America and has had, well, in anyone's money, a fantastic world championship so far. Can he cap it off? It's pretty difficult, and that's very well executed.
That's a beautifully elegant skill. Round off. 1.5 somersaults with half a twist. Into dive forward roll. And now he's dismount.
Ho, 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 ho! Oh, Hamm.
That's the top so far.
Oh, you think so? You would think so. Listen to the crowds reacting to that. Oh, great stuff from Paul Hamm. He won't forget Anaheim 2003 in a hurry, and why should he?
Doing work that you might normally see on the pommel horse, performed on the floor, Thomas Flares.
And how about that for a dismount?
Coach is happy.
The crowd are happy. Hamm's happy, even if he's not showing it. He knows there are quality gymnasts to go, but 9.762. It's the USA out in front once again. From Canada, from Romania, Jordan Jovchev. He is in pain. He has a severe shoulder injury, some tendons, I think. He's been injured, he says, well, it's just a case of doing his routine through the pain. It's only pain, he says.
Ooh, very complicated. Whip back, 1.5 twist in, 1.5 front back somersault.
And watch if he's protecting either shoulder. It doesn't look like he is so far. He should do it through the pain more often.
This is exceptionally good. And exceptional difficulty. Knowledgeable crowd.
And nice to hear them not just cheering for their own.
Correct.
Cheer everybody, cheer madly for your own. That's exactly right. How about that? From the injured Jovchev. Well, pick that one out, judges. Great stuff. Great stuff. Is it better than Hamm's? We will have to wait and see, but he has certainly produced a good under pressure as well, hasn't he?
Definitely. I mean, he lives, of course, now in America, so to a degree the Americans will have taken him to their hearts a little, but...
Oh, they want to hear their own national anthem. I've forgotten the name of it. What's it called? The Star Spangled Banner. They don't want to hear the Bulgarian anthem, but with gymnastics like that, I just don't know. Hamm's was wonderful. This was wonderful.
Xu felt very, very elegant, but just not quite the same dynamic.
What it means, of course, we think, is that Dragulescu will finish out of the medals. 9.762. The judges and John and Battle agree. We couldn't separate them. They couldn't separate them. There will be 2 gold medals. 1 bronze, no silver, of course. And Dragulescu finishing in a tie for 4th with Diego Hipólito.
Whose sister, sadly, was injured in the all-around top 24 women's. You may have noticed she finished down in 24th. She must have fallen on floor, perhaps on her first tumble, because she only scored 3. She performed...
The next apparatus final is the pommel horse. I was going to say the men's pommel horse, but of course it's not a piece of apparatus. The women, well, like to see them have a go, but it's not something that they...
Well, they used to in the late 70s. Watch his routine, I'll come back to it.
Teng Haibin of China we're watching.
Tremendous amplitude of swing.
Great to watch, clean lines. 4th last year.
Tremendous routine. Most of the gymnasts at the top level are performing difficulties way in excess of the 10 required, but of course they don't get credited for that bonus. Fundamentally, you're looking for the double leg circle work as they're swinging round the pommel horse, whether it's with their hands in front of them or behind them. You're looking for as near a straight line from the armpits to the toes as you can possibly get. And this was pretty near it. Immensely difficult to deduct.
It's for those who don't follow gymnastics week in, week out. That's what we mean when we talk about clean lines. Good start to the competition. Perhaps while we wait for his mark, you can tell us about when the women used to do pommel.
You're right. On beam, in the late 70s, a lot of the Americans, in their innovative way, tried to look at ways in which they could vary beam, and they started doing Thomas flares and double leg circles on the beam. But it didn't take off. Tracy Talavera, American gymnast who performed the skills for the first time, 1979, 1980.
Well, we saw the mark there for Teng Haibin. Great mark, 9.762. Here's the reigning world champion, Marius Urzica of Romania.
Scored 10 at the Glasgow Grand Prix. Can he do it again?
And deserves it. Did you see an error?
With a doubt, no.
I mean, I've watched that on slow motion replay and super slow-mo, and I tell you, I couldn't see an error.
Here we go. Ooh, little separation. You saw the legs separate.
The height he gets when he does that.
Shears half turn, a compulsory aspect to the pommel horse routine. You have to split your legs. And here we are for dismount.
Well, it's not 10, and I don't think it's better than the Chinese gymnast who preceded him.
Lines weren't as good, little errors, leg separations.
It just wasn't his best routine when it mattered.
And you have to be able to perform this routine time after time, but most importantly, when the green light goes, you have to be switched on. He'll be disappointed, without a doubt.
No question about it, yep. Always, with a male gymnast especially, on apparatus like this pommel horse, watch the feet. Yep, you can see it. He is disappointed. 9.650. By his standards, and I repeat, by his high standards, that is a disappointment. Nikolai Kryukov of Russia joined 6th last year. You do tend to see the pommel specialists reach the final, top 8 reaching the final, and you do tend to see the same, or nearly the same people year after year. It does take a special talent.
Get different ways of performing the same skills that the Chinese did, but this time on the pommel handles. But his extension is not as good as the Chinese, and the judges, I'm sure, will take that into account.
once again, the knowledgeable crowd. They know what's good and they know what's hard, and that end of that routine just brought it up a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, that's an original dismount all the way up and across the horse.
Well,
very difficult to sort these guys out.
We didn't see that last year, I don't think. And I wonder whether that's going to put him ahead of Urzica.
Well, my book, yes, much cleaner. But the amplitude not quite as good as the Chinese. A little struggle to handstand. Such small mistakes that the judges have to use to separate these guys.
What's he saying? Second? Well, if he was, he's right. 9-7-2-5. Unless there was a V for victory, in which case, sorry, you're in second. Can he keep it? Takehiro Kashima of Japan. Bronze last time round. I said it's the same sort of gymnasts who reached the final on this apparatus. It's just how good they are on the day that tends to separate the gold from the silver, from the bronze, from the non-medalists. Of course, when Urzica gets it right, it's all about silver.
It's a very difficult combination there on one handle.
Yes, good start.
But like I say, the difficulty isn't the issue. It's how well you can keep your feet pinned together when it's required, as it is now. Very good line. I don't know how the judges are going to separate these guys. I would not like to be a judge. Brilliant.
Except if Corpina smiles at you. Yeah, there are some advantages, I guess, to being a judge. Great stuff again from Kashima. Wow, it is. The level is so high. Look at the feet, just glued together.
You can see how hard he's trying as his feet come round to the front. So he's looking at his toes, how hard he's trying to lift his hips up to get the extension that the judges are looking to see.
And I think he got it. I think he got it. He waits to see, will it be gold or will it be silver? It'll be gold. And I tell you what, it'll be another shared gold medal. 2 men's apparatus finals so far, 4 gold medals, China and Japan. It's Kryukov who hangs on to bronze. And look at that, Urzica, not even the top Romanian. 5th place, he'll be back. I think he'll have a point to prove in Athens next year.
I think they'll have to do something, to separate these guys. Perhaps increasing. It's the first medal at a major world championships or Olympic Games that any female British gymnast has managed to achieve. So,
well, that puts it in context, doesn't it? Brilliant. And so we turn our attention to the rings. We're talking about the pommel horse and whether girls have ever had a go on that. Be surprised if you'll tell me that in the 70s there was a movement in the United States to get the women doing the rings.
No, but the women used to do swinging rings many years ago. Don't ask me what year, but in the 1912s, the women used to compete on swinging rings.
When you were in your peak, John.
Yeah.
Here we go. Matteo Morandi of Italy on the rings. Bronze last time round. Just very, very strong. Look at that.
Of course, with Yuri Kecki, the Italians having a very strong tradition on rings.
And don't forget Coppolino. And with their current crop of superstars, hardly a wobble.
Well, he's held everything superbly on the strength. It's just the dismount.
Oh, Well, I think we'll forgive him the step. I think we'll forgive him the step. That was what to say,
High quality.
A lovely routine, is to understate the case once again. Great stuff from Morandi, and well, you can see here in slow motion, very few faults.
Here, the judges are looking for the shoulders being perfectly level with the rings. And again, just performs it with ease. Cross, as difficult as it looked, is actually a very simple skill in terms of the ranking of difficulty of skills.
Yeah, a few years ago, the cross or the crucifix used to be the difficult one, but now it's just a walk in the park compared to some of the stuff these guys do. Great stuff from him. How do the judges rate it? For the first of every final, they're putting down a marker, aren't they? They're going to judge everyone else against the 9-7 that Morandi's got.
Yeah. They have to leave themselves enough room for maneuver in case somebody comes up with something extra special. But there's no reason why some of these performances should not get score 10.
Well, the top-ranked Italian on rings, 4th in the world, Andrea Coppolino.
Much lighter frame gymnast, just as strong. Inverted crucifix, Maltese cross. These guys are just huge. Most of their arms are bigger than our legs. Planche, that's meant to be up high.
Most of their arms. Both of their arms.
Both of their arms.
Yeah, but bigger than our legs put together, I reckon. I mean, just the strength of these guys is extraordinary.
And that's stuck.
Great stuff from both Italians. Great stuff. The others know they've got their work cut out. Coppolino and Morandi, both with wonderful routines. Perhaps you can talk us through the slow motion, John.
Inverted crucifix. Each movement must be held for 2 seconds, then he presses back to Maltese cross, and then swinging straight back somersaults dismount to land, and this time without a step.
That's nervous, doesn't it?
That's the hardest time when you're waiting for your score, especially if you're expecting or anticipating that all the effort that you put in over the years.
Would you believe it? 9-7 exactly. They couldn't separate the two Italians, and are we heading for yet another shared gold medal to be remembered as the World Championships of shared gold medals. This man's won a gold already. Jordan Jobchev of Bulgaria, despite his shoulder injury.
If he has a shoulder injury, this will sort it out.
Well, he said it's only pain. Only pain.
That's what they mean by level. That's what they mean by level. And again. And pressing out.
I want some of his shoulder injury. I'll tell you, that's wonderful. He thought he deserved gold last year, but that went to the Hungarian Shalani. For me, that is gold this year. Well, it's certainly better than the two Italians. I'd be surprised if it isn't marked as such.
More accurate on the held elements. More difficult dismount. But then, as I said earlier, most of these guys have more than the difficulty requirement. I'm sure the men will move to a tariff system to enable them to separate the tops from the tops.
In time for next year?
No. Any changes that take place on the Olympic cycle. So it would normally be up and around the Christmas time after the Olympics of 2004 that any rule changes will take place.
It's only pain, he said. And perhaps I said that with a slight smile in my voice, but I won't do it now. 9-7-8-7 it is. As your man says, only pain. Ostenis Tampakos of Greece.
Very well pronounced, Vassos.
Well, you'd expect nothing less with Joe, you know. Name like Vassos. But feel free to have a go, John. So 9.787, Jovchev's mark. Is he going to push the two Italians down a place? Is he going to take gold himself? Gold for Greece. They won gold on the high bar last year.
Beautifully accurate held elements. Strong inverted cross, press to inverted cross. Forward swings to handstand. And now the dismount. Not a movement. Again, such a high level, such a high level.
Tiny mistake on the dismount. Very tiny mistake on the dismount. I think that's up there with Jovchev's. The only question really is it good enough for gold for Greece, or will it be another gold for Bulgaria? He's ranked number 3 in the world on this piece of apparatus, and we really can't overstate the difficulty of this. Look at that ring, just not moving.
Each element, strength element, has to be held for 2 seconds. So difficult. Imagine doing that on your floor at home, lying on your belly with your palms face down on the floor, and you have to lift your whole body just off the floor.
And then increase the difficulty by a factor of about 6. And you're still not even close. He knows he's got a medal. He knows he's got a medal. Look at his coach. The Greek coaches aren't the most phlegmatic. It's first place. Oh, it's another shared gold medal. It is first place for Greece, but it's another shared gold for Jovchev. Will this ever end? But, you know, I guess there's so little to separate them. Why not? There is 2 gold medals. I think they both deserve it. Jovchev through the pain. Tampakos perfectly fit and a wonderfully great routine. It's 2 golds and 2 bronzes. 4 medals for the rings and another high-quality routine.
You have 6 judges. The highest and lowest scores are thrown out, and the average, the 4 middles scoring vault.
Yeah, so it's not just one judge. We're back after the break. More apparatus finals. These are the highlights of the ones we've had so far. And we've had a medal for Britain as well. Don't go away, we're back after this break. More finals. Day 2 of the finals from the 2003 World Gymnastics Championships. The men's vault. Next up, this man is Kyle Schufelt of Canada. He took bronze on the floor. Welcome along, I'm Bathos Alexander. With me, John Peary, gymnastics consultant for some of the top gymnasts in the United Kingdom. The men's vault final, 2 vaults, 2 different vaults. The average mark is the one that counts. Oh, that's a good start. That is a good start.
Huge Yurchenko 2.5 twists. Something just while you were talking, Vassos, that I noticed, the women have just implemented a rule forbidding them to wear any form of jewellery at all. And then notice that Schufelt is wearing a stud, is it, across his eye? He's got his eye pierced.
We'll have a close look at that, but for the moment, let's have a close look at that great first vault. The standard has been so high in these finals.
Great, very powerful vault, but of course, good floor worker as well, dynamic tumbles.
I mean, another year, his floor routine would have been good enough for gold. He only took bronze. So that's the first of 2 vaults. 9.650. A couple of, what? I don't know what they are. Studs.
He's had his eye pierced.
His eyebrow.
Pierced.
Yeah. So 9.650. And, well, you take that again.
Men, like the women, have to perform 2 different vaults. in final. The average of the two is their final score. This time Tsukahara with 2.5 twists, or Kazumatsu double twist, whichever way you wish to interpret it. One day I'm sure the international governing body will formalize the language that we use. It varies so much from country to country. But Xu felt excellent, and his feet are beautiful. Very rare.
Just that step. But I don't hold your breath. International governing bodies aren't known for their speed of movement in any sport. Great start to the men's vault final from Kyle Schufelt. Canada, he's one to look out for, certainly with the Olympics coming up. And you can't help, when you have a World Championship so close to an Olympic Games, you can't help looking forward to that. But right now it's World Championship medals up for grabs, and they're important in their own right. He waits for the average score, which is 9.6129575, the score for the second vault. Once again, he's gone early, and he's put a mighty difficult marker down for the others to beat.
The two 9.9 tariff vaults. We will see 10 vaults here. And this man performed an unbelievable vault. Let's hope he can do and repeat the same thing again.
Oh, he's capable of it, no question about it. Marian Dragulescu of Romania. Simply extraordinary. I mean, that step on after the dismount, but
in the top 24 he nailed it, but it's just the height that he gets. It's 3 somersaults with a half a turn, and this occasion he's so tightly tucked he has the time to kick out of it.
Oh, stunning stuff from Dragulescu. He'd have been gutted to miss out on a medal on the floor.
It's often been asked why the women can't perform such dynamic vaults. Well, they're slightly heavier, they run slightly faster, and that as they hit the horse, they're hitting it with twice the kinetic energy, or almost twice the kinetic energy of that of the women. So it's impossible, in short, for the women to perform such dynamic vaults as the men.
So a brief shot there of Kyle Schufelt. He knows that if Dragulescu repeats anything like that, the Canadian will be down to second. Dragulescu 9.775, 9.612 was Schufelt's average. Dragulescu for his second vault. And another great vault. Again, a step, but I mean, that's good enough for gold, no question about it, or for the gold medal position.
Same difficulty as Schufelt, same tariff vault for his second vault. And again, the feet pinned tight together. It's so difficult to keep your feet pinned tight together when you're performing twisting somersaults.
Well, Dragulescu came 7th, and for him, that's only 7th, in the vault final in Hungary. He'll be on the podium this year, no question about it. 9.687 takes the lead by, in gymnastics terms, by a mile. 9.600, the score for that second vault. But this man, if anyone can deny Dragulescu gold, this man can. Li Xiaopeng of China, the reigning world champion. And, well, let's just hope he produces anything like what he produced last year, because it was just a joy to behold. His average last year, incidentally, 9.818. The next highest, 9.675, gives you some idea of by what margin he won gold. Dragulescu knows that the gold medal is by no means certain when this man is on the runway. Yes, there you go, that's why. That is why. Li Xiaopeng, his first vault. Well, that puts the cat amongst the pigeons.
Well, I'm going to have to wait for the slow motion on this. The judges have the advantage, of course. The gymnast declares the vault. It's a handspring half turn with 2.5 twists. Just immaculate.
Look at that.
Smallest of steps. Again, just inside the tram line.
Makes a world of difference, though. Inside, it's just a step. Outside, and there are arbitrary marks taken off. Well, he's halfway through. It's 2 vaults. Waits for the marks, and then he'll compose himself, and he'll know what he has to do. That is, of course, an advantage. But he'll know he'll have to nail his second vault, no question about it. 9.687 is what he's aiming at. 9.775, the same mark as Dragulescu got in his first vault. So what he's got to beat is 9.600 in this vault. He knows what he's aiming at. 9.600. The second vault, traditionally, is his stronger. So if I had 50p, I'd probably put it on this man, but so many things can go wrong. Just millimeters. That's what we're dealing at. Oh, sensational. Sensational. Well, it's gold by a distance for Li Xiaopeng. He knows it. Wow, what a vault. That's in a different class from anything we've seen so far in the final, which has been of a pretty high class. He simply nailed that vault. Oh, wow. Well, it's not going to be 10, or it might be, but it'll be pretty close to it.
And more than that, Vassos, he was just perfectly straight. Beautiful line, feet fantastic together. You notice the different entry, handspring.
Oh, just sensational. 9.862 for the second vault. Remember what he needed? 9.600. Apologies, incidentally, if my voice keeps breaking. I seem to be getting a sore throat and a cold while everyone else bakes in the UK. But it's 9.862 for his second vault, and as you can see, it's gold once again by a mile in the vault final for Li Xiaopeng of China. He is in a different class, and that's saying something when you've got gymnasts like Dragulescu and Schufelt in the field, and Diego Hippolyto.
It's a straight pencil on a beam than it is a piece of jelly, and that's the bottom line.
Do they necessarily spend longer than anyone else? When we're watching another Chinese gymnast, Huang Xu, but why don't the others start picking the game up?
Well, they used to. But now, of course, with the Soviet Union collapse, they don't spend as much money on the sport as they perhaps used to. China still have that resource. The other countries are catching up. Again, look at this guy's line. It's just... he's just a pencil.
Yes. Watch the feet once again.
Foul. And he's got the audacity to kick out of the double pike back. Absolutely huge.
Well, he came fourth last year. Li Xiaopeng, we saw his vault, his magnificent vault earlier. He was the Chinese gymnast who took gold last time around. But with routines like this, I mean, difficult to know how anyone can cope with these Chinese gymnasts, especially the men.
Yeah, they are without the shadow of a doubt in a different league. But again, they are prone to making mistakes. And ultimately, that's what can cost them, and has in the past.
Well, great stuff. It's 9.762. It's good enough for first place, but some powerful gymnasts to come, including, recognize him from the vault, Li Xiaopeng. And he, once again, when he gets it right, he gets it right. He's followed up gold from last year on the vault with gold here. He was the gold medalist in Debrecen on the P-bars, and, well, once again, can he again react to the pressure and produce his best?
It's going to take something special. That's mega difficult. Front uprise, double pike somersault. Beautiful legs. Under somersault. Fantastically straight arms. Giant swing, double pike. This could be something special. Oi! The height. Front somersault, 1 1/4. Ooh, that took strength to hold it.
But hold it, he did. Did he stick? I tell you, I'm going to go out this afternoon. I am going to buy a thesaurus. I am running out of superlatives for this man. Different class on the vault, and that, once again, different class on P-bars. Mega difficult, as you say, and he made to look so easy.
So easy. And he knows it. I love watching the Chinese because, you know, the men are just so demonstrative. They know when they've done something special. Relatively easy start. Let's get him into the swing, but that double pike back to front uprise from a front uprise is just huge difficulty. Oh, and kick out double pike. Just virtuosity extraordinaire.
Absolutely. And could you fall the dismount? No, you could. 9.825. It's once again, it's first place by a country mile for China. Another of the greats in the gymnastics game prepares to shoot for 9.825. It's Alexei Nemov of Russia.
I'm looking forward to this routine. Ooh, little off line. He only just managed to bring that under somersault with full turn back into line. Under somersault half turn again.
Tiny errors, but he's looking much fitter than he did last year.
Very good.
Very good. Very good from Nemov. It's going to be good enough for a medal, I think. I'm not sure it's good enough to beat the two Chinese. Huang Xu, 9.762. And he can simply forget about Li Xiaopeng's score. But good to see him back. Really good to see him back and performing at the highest level.
Yeah, for sure. Didn't perform on all pieces of apparatus for the Russian team. Deciding to specialize, it's a little easier on the body, perhaps not to do all pieces of apparatus. But it didn't quite have the wow factor that Li Xiaopeng had for me.
Oh, not even close. An interesting, we're talking really about the minor medals here, aren't we? Huang Xu, who had that great routine that we saw first, 9.762, he was a late replacement for the Chinese team. It was going to be Yang Wei who competed on the P-bars for them. Nemov, good to see him back, as you say. Not looking his absolute best. But it's another shared medal. We're getting used to these. It's all 9.762. It's silver for Nemov.
But I think he knew it.
Well,
you know, that
yeah.
under somersault with full turn, it wasn't accurate, and he did very, very well to actually pull it back inside the parallel bars to avoid a fall.
Yep, it's silver behind the Chinese, and they have wowed a few people so far. More to come. Women's floor and the high bar. They're popular. Stay with us. Diane dos Santos, the last final, the crowd-pleasing final, and it's great to watch. Takehiro Kashima of Japan. He'll fancy his chances. And remember, John, it's not Kojak.
You're right. Many Eurosport viewers have pointed that out to me. Freudian slip. Here we go. Good, complicated start. Healy turns. And here we go. And it's tucked Kovacs, not Kojak. Very difficult turns to one arm. Endo, full turn, endo in eagle grip. This is tremendous. Come on, sticky dismount. Double twist.
He heard you. He stuck it. That's a... Wow. Wow. I wasn't expecting it to be that good.
That's magic.
Takehiro Kashima. That will take some beating. Great routine and stuck his dismount. Nemov to come, of course. You can't take anything for granted till we've seen him, but this was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the two routines are so difficult. Takehiro making up all his difficulty through complex moves on the bar, turns around with legs straddled, referred to as endo, and that particular skill, very difficult. Whereas Nemov making up his routine by many release and recaptures, so different dynamics to the routine, but nonetheless very accurate, beautifully performed. Tremendous.
Yeah, the crowd prefer the Nemov style, of course.
Yeah.
9.775. That's what they've got to beat. Takehiro Kashima. He surprised us before. Will he do it again?
There's Paul Hamm, the all-around champion. He didn't make the final, but he has the same dynamics. Many release and catches.
Listen to the cheer for Nemov.
I'm just going to let you watch this routine.
Shame about the step, but is there a better side in world gymnastics than Alexei Nemov in full flight on the high bar?
I'm sure the audience at home realized what I was referring to before his routine. The release and recatch movements that they're called. He had 6, 4 following each other. That's the straight Kovacs. Then the straight Katchev. Straddle Katchev, piked Katchev. There's 3, and now the Ginger turn after Eberhard Ginger, the famous German gymnast of the 70s. And yet another Kovacs, tuck this time. And once more, it's such a shame. The judges have no choice but to deduct heavily for that dismount, and he knows it.
It is a shame. It really is a shame. Let's take nothing away from Kashima. It was difficulty work and he was notching up the points, but the crowd wanted Nemov to have the gold and the judges could do nothing about it. It was more spectacular, but you have to penalise for the dismount. What a shame, but what a routine. I'll tell you which one I'll remember.
Without a doubt.
Igor Cassina of Italy, the last man in these... well, the last man in these 2003 World Artistic Gymnastics Championships. 9.775 Kashima, 9.737 Nemov.
He'll have to go some. We need that wow factor again.
Be nice to finish with a wow factor.
Must be hard to follow Nemov. Here he goes. Even higher than Nemov's. This is brilliant. Whoa, and a full twisting straight. Fantastic stuff. Here we go again. And another one tucked this time. He's got the wow factor.
It is, I'll tell you, it's an Italian routine. He's showing off and he's loving it. And so are the crowd, and so are we.
Here we go.
Come on, stick this. Stick it. just a tiny hop forward. I hope it doesn't cost him. It was wonderful. He was loving it.
Absolutely amazing.
What a wonderful way to finish these just fantastic World Championships.
It's been a privilege to watch it. There's been some unbelievable work, some very, very high wow factor skills performed. And that is something which I think all coaches, all of you Eurosport viewers would be excited about. Ball twisting Kovac straight.
Tiny mistakes, tiny mistakes.
Then tucked. Woo. Okay, you can see his legs bend there. That'll cost him a little.
I'm not sure the judges can give him gold, you know. A shame, but it was a great way to finish. The crowd don't mind. They enjoyed that, as we did Nemov's. Always a great way to finish at World Championships. It is silver. It is silver for Casino. He'll be pleased with that. He essentially stuck his routine, as did Nemov. Kashima takes gold, and I think we've been a bit unfair on him because it was a good routine. But as you say, the wow factor, the X factor, it just wasn't there. But a great finish. It's Japan from Italy, from Russia. We've enjoyed it. I hope you have too at home. From John Peary and myself, Vassos Alexander, that's the end of the 2003 World Gymnastics Championships. Plenty of memories to take away. Here are just a few. Enjoy.
Alors que l'on découvre un Cubain, on ne les voit pas souvent les Cubains.
Très enlevé, ils sont très forts au saut de cheval. Et au sol. Oui, ce deuxième envol. Très très haut.
Hiroyuki faisait lui aussi partie